You know that I could get you more, a little more, whatever you need, what you need.
Hey guys, it's Elise again, and sorry that I've been taking such a long break from YouTube. This is just something that I like to do for fun in my free time. I am literally in the middle of my sophomore year of college. Swimming is almost over for people who aren't going to nationals. Their last meet is going to be a week from this weekend, and today is Friday, January 25th. It's currently 1:42 in the afternoon. I only had 2 classes today. I actually didn't even go to my 8 a.m. because I didn't go to bed till 3 a.m. So, don't do that when you're in college, okay? Don't skip your classes unless you absolutely need to. I am on the swim team at my university at Olivet Nazarene University. I have a job, I'm a lifeguard here. Also with my studies, I'm a physical education and health major, so it kind of feels like a double major in a way. I have a lot going on and I'm very involved. I also help out with FCA here on campus. I'm kind of busy, and so I didn't really think that I had any time to do any videos. So that's why I had put it off from the summer. But this is something that I asked on my Instagram if anyone would want to watch a YouTube video of me, you know, answering questions or like any sensitive topics. That's what I'm gonna be doing today. First sensitive topic that I'm gonna be talking about, it was submitted from my friend Lauren. She's also my teammate. She said I should talk about learning to be authentic to yourself, to be real. This one's kind of hard. I hadn't shared my story with YouTube or with a lot of people, only people that are close to me. My testimony, what I've gone through in my life and everything, the struggles that I encountered, and learning to be authentic to yourself is super, super difficult. I struggled a lot with that in middle school and high school, and still now. I'm 19 years old, I'm turning 20 this year. I'm gonna give you a little backstory of my life to let you know that being authentic to yourself is one of the most difficult things you can do in your life. When I was 12, I became really depressed. In middle school, they were talking about it a lot, bringing awareness to it. Didn't really know what it was. I didn't even know that I was depressed. I think my parents knew a little bit in a way. I know my teachers kind of saw it because a lot of times I'd run out of class just crying. Randomly, out of nowhere, I would get really upset, or sometimes I wouldn't even want to come to class, I wouldn't talk. And you know, people knowing me, I'm a very outgoing and talkative person. So the fact that an extroverted child would not want to talk anymore all of a sudden got really, really sad all the time now, and just their attitude and everything changed about them. It was way off. I remember the first time in 7th grade, my science teacher saw me run out of class, and I just was in the hallway crying for no reason. He came out and was asking me if I was okay, just checking up on me, and wanted to see if I needed to talk or anything like that. Brushed it off, and I said, no, I'm fine. Later, I think that week, I got called into the counselor's office. I didn't understand why. I was like, why am I getting called into the counselor's office? I'm fine, like, it's nothing. They were talking to me, asking about my home life, asking about, you know, my friends, asking about my look on life, things like that, you know? And then I started thinking, I was like, oh, so it must have been my teacher who recommended that I go to see the counselor, and they told the office, or he told the office. And honestly, I'm forever grateful for that, because that truly showed me that he cared enough for my safety, for me in general, and he wanted to see me happy. So that's when it all started, when my depression started. It was an ongoing thing from when I was in 7th grade all the way to senior year in high school, and it's still something that I kind of struggle with now. From 7th to 8th grade, I became so depressed that I was suicidal. And it's something that I don't like to talk about lightly, because it's such a difficult topic. Sorry. It's a serious thing, and I was struggling with being authentic with myself, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why I became really depressed. There was a lot of things in my life, a whole huge story about my background, about what I've gone through. It's not probably as severe as a lot of people in the world, because, you know, I'm very blessed. I'm blessed to have been born in the family that I was born in, to have all these opportunities, all these things given to me. Look, I'm in this dorm room right now with these decorations. I was given an education. What I'm saying is that it doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter where you come from, your life is a struggle. And my struggle was being who I am, finding out where I belonged, like Lauren said, being authentic. And I keep saying it over and over, being authentic, but like being real, being who you are as a person, no matter what gets thrown your way or whatever. And through those times, when I was suicidal, when I was very depressed, I didn't know who I was. I was trying to fit in with the popular group. I was trying to fit in with this group. I was trying to be, the athlete that everybody saw. Like, I played basketball, volleyball, I swam, I tried track, I did tennis, I did gymnastics. I was the athletic girl. And then I also wanted to be that pretty popular girl, that every guy was like, whoa, like this girl's cool. I wanted to fit in with all the girls. I wanted to be liked by everybody. I really wanted people to like me. So I didn't know who I was. I am mixed. I'm half Filipino, half French, as I said in one of my other videos. So I didn't know what group I belonged in. Did I belong in the Asian group? Did I belong in a white group? Did I belong here? Did I belong there? Or did it just matter based on social class? Did I belong with the rich kids? Did I belong with the middle class kids? Like, these kinds of things. I didn't know because I was too young. I just wanted to fit in with whoever. Throughout middle school, I was just trying to be the popular kid, basically. The one that everybody knew, the one that everybody liked, everyone wanted to be friends with, wanted to hang out with. I got that. I was really well known in middle school, liked by a lot of people. I'm not saying that I was being fake, because I guess in a way I could have been, because I really just tried so hard. I really genuinely wanted to be friends with everybody because I really cared about people. I still do till this day care about people. And back then, I cared so much about people, but I also cared so much about my self-image, my reputation, who people thought I was, who I thought I wanted to be. I attempted suicide in 8th grade. I sent a text to my best friend at the time. I'm not gonna name her. She knows who she is. Basically saying goodbye and that I was gonna kill myself. I'm not gonna go into detail. It's something that's not necessary right now. And she told me the next day that she cried so loud that she woke up her entire family. And I remember that night, after I texted her, a few minutes later, my mom comes downstairs into my room. She's like, Elise, what is this about? And she was showing me the text messages that my best friend's mom texted her, called her, was trying to make sure that I was okay. At that point, I didn't think anyone cared about me. I didn't know who I fit in with. I didn't know where I belonged. I didn't know who I was. And at that age, like, the fact that your mind can be that strong and that, emotional and that powerful, it's crazy to me. That was the thing. My mind was so powerful that I didn't know how to, figure it out. I didn't know what I was doing. That night, literally, when she did that, when she told her mom, and her mom called my mom, that saved my life. I think about it and I'm just like, man, if I just had done exactly what I was going to do without even saying goodbye, I wouldn't have been here. And so I'm forever grateful for her. It doesn't matter where we are in life. I know we're not really close friends anymore, but I'm forever grateful for her for doing that, for telling somebody, because she was a true friend. And that's not easy to have. It's not easy to find. Even if you don't stay friends forever, I knew that she cared enough to make sure that I was okay. And sometimes I forget that people care about me. Sometimes I feel like people don't care about me at all. I still think that sometimes, that nobody really cares about me, that I'm just here for the benefit of others, for people to use me or to just push around to do what they want, just kind of a human being that's overlooked. It's hard. And I knew that night that I was loved. Sometimes, again, I said, it comes and goes. Like, you feel like you don't, you feel like you're not loved, you feel like you do. It comes in waves. That was parts of my source of depression, was because I felt like I was overlooked. I felt like I was unloved. I felt like I didn't matter, like nobody really cared about me. Throughout high school, I really tried hard to be authentic to myself. I tried to fit in with the popular group again, be the pretty, athlete, the smart girl, whatever. Eventually, I think it was after junior homecoming, I decided that I wanted to get out of the group. Not because they did anything wrong to me, but because I felt out of place. I felt like I couldn't be myself. I was constantly worrying about my image and constantly worrying about what I was gonna say, like if I was gonna upset anybody or whatever, the drama. I didn't want that, so I left, and I ended up being, what they consider in high school like a floater. That's what I was. Honestly, I had so much fun senior year because of that. I don't really hang out with anyone anymore, and from high school, it's kind of something that I wanted to do when I went to college. I wanted to move on, and that's exactly what I did. I'm still friends with some people from my high school, not very close as I am with people in college now, which I have great friends in college, and I had great friends in high school. It's part of life. And I've learned over the years that being authentic to yourself sometimes can be out of your hands at some points in your life. Like with my depression, with my suicide, it was something I couldn't control. It just happened. And times and things like that, like, you need to make sure you get help. I know it's not easy. I did not want to see a counselor at all. I refused every time I was suggested one at school, at home. Finally, I went and saw a counselor my senior year of high school, and I did last year also for freshman year of college, and I still talk with people all the time about the issues that I have, because keeping it silent, you're not going to get any help. No one's going to know if you don't say anything. And sometimes if you do say something, go to someone who you know will help you and who really, really, truly cares about you. Even if you feel like nobody cares about you, go to somebody like a counselor on campus or at school. Like, they do truly care. That's why they have the job they have, is because they care. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know where you fit in wherever because of your culture, because of your background, because of where you come from, because of your language you speak, the skin color you have, because of the things that you own, like your clothing, your technology, whatever it may be, because of your education, you matter. Doesn't matter who it is, you matter. Every single person on this earth matters. You're here for a reason. Even if you don't know what that reason is, you still matter. And I want you to know that, because I didn't know that. Sometimes I still question why I'm here. I have no idea. But that's the point. Like, that's life. Like, that's you learning every single day who you are as an individual, who you want to be in the future, what you want, what you want to learn. You can't expect it all the time to be that easy. When you are learning to be authentic to yourself, you first have to go through some struggles, and through the struggles, make sure that you talk with somebody as well. Someone who's a trusted adult, somebody who is unbiased, who can really truly see from the outside looking in how you can possibly resolve whatever's going on in your life. So basically, I covered also the depression, anxiety, the suicide. I also have ADD, which not a lot of people actually know about. I didn't really start telling people until this year. I don't take medicine. I didn't really notice that I had ADD until this year, actually, my sophomore year of college, that I'll be talking to a friend, a teammate, I'd just be saying a bunch of words, and I would be saying, like, I'd be talking about a subject or like a topic or whatever, and then they'd be answering me, and in the middle of when they're answering me, I will start to talk about something else. I'll just go off on different topics because my mind is always going, it's constantly thinking, it's constantly going all the time, and I have no idea how to control it. The reason why I don't take medicine is because I want to be able to learn how to cope with it without medicine, because I don't think it's that severe. I also asked my doctor, and she said that she doesn't believe mine is severe enough to where I have to have medicine. So I decided not to, because I didn't want to be relying on it. I wanted to, I know like a lot of people are either super against medicine or super for medicine, but for me, for ADD, I thought it was fine. Like, my grades didn't suffer anything. Like, I'm just fine. Just sometimes when I interrupt people or something, or I start going off, I have to remind people, I have to be like, I'm sorry, like, if I'm going off on these random stories after I said something, because my mind is always constantly going because of my ADD. And like, a lot of people who have depression, have anxiety, who have suicidal thoughts, who have, you know, ADD, ADHD, whatever it may be, anything like that, addiction, like, talk to somebody about it. You don't want to keep it quiet, because it's super difficult. It's super sensitive to talk about your life, your personal life, how you're feeling, because it requires you to be vulnerable. And that's another one of the topics, is being vulnerable not only to others, but to yourself. You gotta first be vulnerable to yourself and realize like what's going on, and realize that, yeah, this is happening, I need to get help. Instead of thinking, you know, nobody cares about me, nobody wants me, nobody even loves me, I'm just here for nothing. Like, I used to think that all the time. And it's not easy. And this is a very difficult topic, and people have very different opinions on it. This is just my opinion. And I could be wrong. Being vulnerable to yourself helps a lot with being able to be vulnerable with others and let them know what you're going through. And it's super hard. It's not easy. I just keep saying this over and over and over, but it's so true. It took me from 7th grade to, I think, end of senior year for me to get help. That's 5 years. I was 12 in 7th grade, and I was 17 senior year of high school. It's 5 years it took for me to get help and to realize it's hard. It's so hard, because to me, it felt like I was being weak if I gave in, if I asked for help. You're not being weak if you're asking for help. You're being smart, and you're taking care of yourself also if you're getting help. Another thing I wanted to talk about was body positivity. Again, it played a lot with my depression, with what's going on in my life. I was struggling a lot with the image of myself and my body. I'm a bigger girl. I'm not skinny. I'm not super muscular. I have fat. I have flab, whatever people call it. Even as an athlete, as a swimmer, you can get away with being bigger and still being pretty decently good at swimming. And that was me. And I struggled a lot because as a swimmer, you know, you're very exposed. And a lot of people on my swim team in high school, in middle school, on my club team, you know, here at the university, everyone's super fit, you know, and I always look at myself and I think that I'm fat. Like, I think that I'm huge. I feel like I'm so disgusting because people have to look at me in a swimsuit like this. I'm starting to learn not to do that. And the reason being is not by forcing myself to go out there. And yes, pushing yourself to be more out there and to wear something you wouldn't usually wear, that can help. It took a lot of my friends, you know, hyping me up or whatever. It took a lot of long talks with my friends, with my family, with a counselor to learn to love my body. And I'm still not completely comfortable with my body. It's a lifelong process for you to love yourself. Everyone struggles with this. You're not the only person who struggles with loving yourself. There could be some people who are narcissists or people who are full of themselves, but even those people, you may think that they think they're perfect. They still have insecurities just like everyone else. It's a human thing. It's because we're in an imperfect world. No one is 100% with their self. No one is perfect. No one is happy all the time, you know? Otherwise life would be boring. Like life would feel pointless if everything was just the same, if everyone was the same. And that's what I had to learn was, over time I learned that if I was just like everyone else, if I had this type of body, and I'm not saying if you have like a good body or not a good body that you're either better or worse, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that it doesn't matter your body type, it doesn't matter what you look like. It matters what your heart is like and how you take care of yourself. My body is just an exterior thing. My body's not gonna last forever. One day I'm gonna die. And like, yeah, that sounds like it's harsh, but it's true, we're all gonna die one day. The thing is I have to worry about my afterlife. Because personally, I'm a believer in Christ. And I believe that I'm gonna go to heaven once I pass away. And that's a personal belief. Not everyone believes that. And that's totally your choice. It was a choice for me to choose God. It was a choice for me to believe in Him and to be a follower of Christ. And I still struggle being a Christian. I've grown up in a Christian family my whole life and rebelled against my parents, did stupid things, you know. Yeah, maybe I regret that, but I think it was something that helped me learn to be myself by going through hard times, by doing stupid things in my life. Learning to love myself no matter what I look like on the outside. Being body positive, it's something that you have to work at every day. And what I would recommend is that you look up verses online that would just bring a lot of positivity and happiness. Something that doesn't have to do with your body, but something that has to do with your mind and your soul first. And you gotta take care of that first before you take care of the outside. Being a Christian is very hard nowadays, but it was hard back then too. You know, people are persecuted every day. And I don't know everything as a Christian. I don't know all the verses in the Bible. I don't know all the stories in the Bible. And I grew up in a Christian home, and my dad is a pastor, and my mom is a professor at a Christian university. I grew up Baptist, and I don't consider myself Baptist anymore. I go to a Nazarene school. I'm not Nazarene either. I don't have a denomination. I just have my relationship with Christ. And that's the thing, is having a relationship with Christ is the most important thing. Not what denomination you are. Your faith is your own personal relationship, your personal belief as an individual with God. It's a personal choice. You don't have to believe this. And it's something that my parents didn't force on me. They always, you know, wanted me to choose. They taught me about it, but it was always my choice to be a Christian. It was always my choice to go to the school that I went to. It was always my choice to go to church, to read my Bible, to pray, all these things. And for me, I find comfort in it. I find joy in it. I connect with people because of it. It helped me a lot during hard times when I was struggling with my suicide and depression, and I used to push God aside. I did not care. I did not want anything to do with God. I was mad at Him all the time. I yelled at Him. I cried at Him. I thought about it more and I learned more about God, and I would go to youth group or church, and then one day just clicked. He's always here, and he's always here to comfort you. He cares about you. Even if you can't hear him through your ears, you can't hear him talking to you, physically, right here in front of you. He's still there, and I can feel him. You feel him, and everyone encounters God in a different way. And I encounter God every day in different ways, but what opened my eyes was when I was at youth group. For some reason, I just started crying. I was bawling my eyes, and I went up there, and I took the microphone. I was shaking, and I just blurted out. I'm tired of feeling like I'm tired of wanting to die every day. I'm tired of hating myself. I'm tired of pushing God aside and not wanting him in my life. He was the real true happiness in my life. And I pushed him away. I pushed him aside like he was nothing, like he didn't matter. That was so hard to do in front of tons of people from my high school. People who had no idea. Tons of adults in there. People who I had grown up with. Knowing that I was like that because I was always the super positive, super smiley, super outgoing, happy girl. People always saw me laughing, always smiling, and still kind of like that today. And it was a shock, I guess, not only to them, but to me. It was a shock to me that I even admitted it. I knew in that moment that I needed God more than ever. And I got saved when I was 9. This was my senior year of high school that this happened. A rededication to God. But I kind of lost sight of who I was. I lost sight of where I wanted to go, how I wanted to grow in my faith and learn more. I'm forever grateful for my youth pastor Meredith and the people at that youth group that I used to go to. They always helped me out. They always talked with me. They still contact me even to this day. Just checking up how I am, wanted to get together. Even sometimes when I can't, they still miss me and they pray for me, and I'm forever grateful for that. The fitting in issue too is because I was growing up in a Christian home, being like everybody else was hard because I had values that I grew up with, and a lot of people didn't have those same values, same morals, same opinions, and it was hard for me to fit in because I wanted to so bad because of my faith, because of my background, because of where I've come from, because of my skin color, whatever it was so hard for me to fit in. I felt so alone. I felt like I had nobody to talk to. There was no diversity in my school, really. It was, to be honest, in my middle school and my high school where I lived in Illinois, it's mainly Hispanic, mainly white kids. I'm half Asian, I'm half white. I'm a mixed kid. I'm biracial. There weren't very many kids that were biracial. There weren't very many black kids. There weren't very many Asian kids. Very much no diversity at all. And that was hard. Trying to find out who I am. It was also hard because I grew up as a tomboy. I'm very much like my dad, very athletic, love sports, love a lot of guy things. My clothing is mainly t-shirts and pants with Vans or sneakers or something. I'm very, very much like a tomboy. Then when I got to middle school, I started to turn more into a girly girl because I wanted to fit in with everyone. Into high school, same thing, more of a girly girl, wore a lot of dresses, skirts, whatever, flowers. And then when I got to college, I was truly who I was. I wore what I wanted to wear, what I thought was me, more of a tomboy kind of vibe. And you can't really base that off of, social media, though. It's based on who I am in person. Because a lot of times people go based on my social media, like on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, whatever it may be, that I'm a girly girl because I dress like this, I look like this, blah, 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 blah. But that's just something that you put out there for people to see. That's not who you truly are. But I wasn't a girly girl, really. I was very much a tomboy, and it's because I was afraid of being judged. And I know a lot of people who had to wear things that they thought everyone wanted them to look like, that they wanted their family to make them look like, and that wasn't who they were. But they weren't being authentic to themselves, and they weren't being authentic to everyone else. And I hate the fact that it's always in high school, always in middle school, and sometimes even in college and the young adult, even when you're older. But I hate the fact that you have to wait until you're older to really truly come out as who you really are. And what I'm basically saying is that I want being who you truly are, I want it to be more genuine. I want people to really truly stop caring about it. But that's something that I can't control. That's something that's every single individual has to do on their own, has to process on their own, has to go through on their own. And that's what I did. I did it on my own. It took me a long time. It took me 5 years to finally figure it out. And it's still, to this day, I'm still figuring out who I am. All these sensitive topics, you know, being authentic to yourself, depression, anxiety, ADD, addiction, suicide, body positivity, your faith, fitting in, you know, feeling alone, even though it's obvious you really are not alone. Diversity, your sexuality, being a tomboy and feeling like you're gonna be judged because you don't look like a girl even though you are a girl, like, or being vulnerable, not only to others but to yourself as well. Like, all these different topics are things that every single person struggles with daily. These are things that I struggle with all the time. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you're struggling with, all these sensitive things, all these different topics that I talked about, that you form your own opinion. You are your own person, and you should not be afraid to be your own individual. So I have this devotional called Jesus Daily. It's a 365 interactive devotions, one for each day. And today is January 25th, and I'm gonna read the devotional for today. The title is Do Some Pruning. That's an ugly word. Ugh. We tend to think of pruning as painful, and while it may be at some times, it's also very refreshing to your soul. There's something very liberating about making space for more of God in your life. With the priorities of your faith as your guide, you get back to basics, remembering how you want to spend your time and resources, rather than allowing them to be consumed by everyone else's demands. Gardeners know that trees require pruning if they're to remain healthy and grow straight. We're the same way. We need to get rid of the possessions, the relationships, and responsibilities that aren't working, especially the ones that pull us away from God. As we clean house within our lives, we may discover new rooms where God is waiting to meet us. And the verse for today is John 15:5. It says, Jesus said, I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. I don't know about you, but that verse goes exactly with what I was just talking about. You know, sometimes you have to go through the pain. Sometimes you have to get rid of things in your life just to realize who you are and to get back on track, whether you're a believer or not, that you're not alone, that everyone is loved by someone. You matter, and you gotta be true to yourself. You gotta be authentic, and you gotta be real, because you don't wanna be somebody you're not and be unhappy. I'd rather be myself and have less friends than be somebody I'm not and have a ton of friends and be unhappy. Yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below of any other video suggestions that you want. Please subscribe. You can hit the subscribe button down below, or you can click the little icon in the corner right here. Yeah, and I really hope you guys leave a like on this video, letting me know if you liked it. And also for this book that I have, this devotion, it's called Jesus Daily. Like I said, 365 interactive devotions. It's inspired by the over 27 million fans on Facebook. It was written by Aaron Tabor, which is what it looks like. Oh, there's a glare. Hello? This is what it looks like, you know. Now see that. Bye. Dude, people used to call me Moana all the time last year. Not anymore as much, but people call me Ellis more. Dude, skin looks really tan right now. It's the middle of winter. I don't want to go to practice. The first sensitive topic, sorry, there's some girls that were walking out my door. Oh. Just kidding, it's some girls. she's nice.
You thought I wouldn't come around to you, round to you.